Good afternoon. Welcome once again to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Perotti, along with Nick Perotti and our fine sponsors. We do want to thank them in order. Taco John's of Cheyenne, where again it's Taco Tuesday. Not Tuesday, but Taco Tuesday. And check out their latest promotion over at all Taco John's as you use their convenient drive-thrus on the South Greeley Highway, of course, downtown on KRAE Avenue, corner of Pershing and Ridge, corner of Del Range and Ridge, and on Yellowstone Road. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Now, AJ and the crew invite you to come on in where they're sanitizing every hour, and they have hand sanitizer, or you can do your business online. And again, just check out keyofcheyenne.com. They have a great variety of 2020s on the lot. Matter of fact, something that has not been done as of a long time that I can recall. Sight unseen, they will give you Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in because they need your trade. So you just punch up all the information about your vehicle, and they'll go to the Kelly Blue Book, and that's how much they're going to give you for your trade. How about that? Key of Cheyenne. Again, they want to do business with you face-to-face, but if you can't, they will even come to you, too, to discuss the monies and the payments and all that other good stuff. But give Key of Cheyenne a call, 775-0123. They're located on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations for you. Again, you can do your banking through the convenient drive-thrus. Again, great staffs over at Platte Valley Bank on the east side of the corner of College and Pershing, and, of course, the original location on Valdez. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menards, serving up 3 delicious squares Monday through Saturday, 2 convenient drive-thrus. Use the Chick-fil-A app, and you can order in advance, take care of all the payments and all that other good stuff for your curbside. Again, 2 convenient drive-thrus for you. Now, they do want to mention that they're not serving up their delicious ice cream cones anymore for the time being. And your milkshakes. They're going to give you the flat lid on the milkshakes. They're not doing the whipped cream and the cherry on top. Again, all because of safety measures. And again, you tip your cap to Ray and Cindy and the crew over there. Again, safety comes first with Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range right across from Powers Field and Menards. Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs with your doctor's prescription, bring it on in. Gene and the great staff, they're working with you right now over inside. Matter of fact, I've gone inside over there and picked up a couple of scripts. And again, you can use the convenient drive-thru outside as well. They're open Monday through Saturday. Medicap Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue, again, where they service what they sell. What do they sell? Maytag, GE, Frigidaire, Whirlpool, and again, all for your inspection inside. You can come on in, use the hand sanitizer. Same thing, too, when you go over to the repair shop, or if you need their services, just give them a call, and they'll come on by. They'll get you on the appointment side because they have been awfully busy over at B&B, 638-6468. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Again, Heather reminds everybody at the 1020 Dunn Avenue location, limited hours now from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., but they're still fully operational on the repair side as well as on the paint side. And again, if you need the Auto Glass and Detail portion of the program over on Pershing Boulevard, give Heather and the crew a call at Lennox Auto Body, 634-6608. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, where Tim and the crew are over there. They're working hard every day. You can call them at 632-3500. Make an appointment to come inside and do your business with the staff inside. Or, again, you can do your banking also with other entities that they have going on over there at First Tier Bank. Again, call for more information, 632-3500. They're open Monday through Friday. Mondello's Pizzeria, which is located right across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And, of course, Joe has been doing this now for 5 decades, bringing us delicious Paisan cuisine. He's there with his brother Caesar, and again, their nephew is there as well, too. You can call Mondello's, and done it already. Had some sandwiches made for me the other day when I went over there and talked to Joe. You can reach him at 778-6068 for takeout, 778-6068. Their pizza ranked in the top 10 by the Food Network folks. Why? Because it's that good. Freshly made dough, always fresh baked breads, fresh ingredients. You can dine on their Sicilian pizza. You can try just good old-fashioned pizza pie with a slice from them. Gourmet pizzas. They have calzone, stromboli. They do salads and breads. Desserts, also hot and cold Italian subs. And they do a delicious steak sub as well, too. So remember, beginning his 5th decade, that tells you something about Joe Mondello. I mean, he knows a little bit about Paisa cuisine, and you have trusted in his foods over the years. So again, come on by and see Joe during these times. Matter of fact, these open Monday through Sunday, limited hours on Sunday now. You can reach Mondello's at 778-6068. No scoreboard to report, but again, our friends at Pepsi of Cheyenne, they are ready. They are ready to light up that scoreboard when we get the restart button. So again, want to remind you that our lack of scoreboard brought by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Whenever that may be, where again things get canceled left and right. Hopefully we'll be able to get back in the swing of things here very shortly. Again, not going to report on the horse tournament that the NBA has been putting on. Who cares? Other little minute things around at least the nation. Hey, I get it, but again, it's not scoreboard worthy. So again, just going to avoid that altogether. Again, those sponsors that you heard, again, are exclusive here to Wyoming Sports Talk today, but go to facebook.com/1480 KRAE, facebook.com/KYOYFM. Again, I've been daily updating, at least been trying to, again, businesses, whether it's eateries, auto repair services, banks, all those, again, those local entities here in the city of Cheyenne and around the area that do at least kind of sponsor us and help us out as well, too, here on KRAE or KYOY. Again, go over those Facebook pages, like them, follow them if you have not already, to see on the local side where we're saying, hey, support local, shop local, see what businesses are in operation, what businesses have adjusted their hours, adjusted their days, have adjusted whatever for the times that we're in. Again, that's all we're asking for is for you to head on over to the Facebook side of things, KYYFM 1480 KRAE. Again, like and follow both of those pages for those updates on what is happening here in the city of Cheyenne locally, of how you can support local businesses here in town.
All right. We are going to take a timeout. Program today, a couple of guests that we have coming up for you, both on the local side. We'll be hearing from Rebecca Valdez in the 4 o'clock hour. And we're going to try it again. We're going to try baseball times 2 or take 2 with the head coach of the Post Sixers, that being Lain. We'll chat with him coming up right after this break, right here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk. Today, we get a chance to talk with Sixers head coach, that being Lain. I know we sound like we're talking to you in a tunnel, so bear with us. You sound fine on your end, so we're ready to rock and roll. But again, boy, let's just talk about all that is going on right now. No baseball, and the question mark, unless you're hearing something that we haven't heard, will there be baseball? That's the question.
Yeah, definitely. At this point, we're kind of just in a waiting game to see how all of this plays out. And, for us, the thing we're waiting on is for the health officials and our governor to give us the green light. And once we get that, if we get that, then we're gonna be rolling right away and trying to get as much baseball in as we can.
Well, we talked with the commissioner of the Wyoming American Legion Baseball, at least association here in the state of Wyoming, Cody Beers, over the past week, where he's pretty adamant, saying, hey, we're going to find a way. If there's a will, there's a way, whether it is, hey, players are only on the field and fans and families are not in attendance. That's kind of the at least minimum that Cody wants for baseball here in the state of Wyoming. But, you got to find some encouragement, though, Ty, that your commissioner here in the state of Wyoming saying, we're going to find a way to make this work. And if it is a shortened season, there's still going to be baseball played for Cheyenne Post 6 and the other Post Legion teams here in the state.
Yeah, definitely. We're happy that Cody Beers is on board and trying to do everything that he can to make baseball happen. Really for us, it's about the development of our players here in Cheyenne and how can we get something out of this season for them. We've got seniors that are signed and ready to move on to the next level, and a lot of young talent in our program that we need to keep working on and keep trying to improve and get better. Wyoming's a pretty unique state in the fact that a lot of our athletes are multi-sport athletes, and they're going to play football and they're going to play basketball. So if you lose a summer season here in Cheyenne, you're really missing out on baseball for a lot of kids for a full calendar year. And there's a lot of different places that have better weather and more guys focused on one sport. And if they miss their summer season, there's a fall season and even a winter season in some places where they're going to make up for that. But for us, we need to figure out a way to get on the baseball field and try to keep improving the players in our program and preparing them to compete at the highest level and be able to play college baseball or professional baseball and keep them on track for that schedule.
Ty, as we're talking about trying to find or at least get into baseball as soon as possible for your athletes for Cheyenne Post 6, my question for you is as we're seeing states, again, it's kind of up to individual states right now of what they're deciding. Where, down in the state of Colorado, their stay-at-home initiative right now compared here in the state of Wyoming where it's a little bit more relaxed with the COVID situation here across the globe. But, would it get to that point, or for you and the organization there for Cheyenne Post 6, if Nebraska gets open and that Legion program out there, or at least those Legion programs out there start play sooner than here in the state of Wyoming or South Dakota, Montana, some of these bordering states, would that be an option for Cheyenne Post 6? If there is no baseball here in the state of Wyoming early enough, could you entertain going out to Nebraska, go finding tournaments, or go play some of those Legion teams in other states that, again, found a way to open up a little bit sooner than here in the Cowboy State?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's going to depend on, if they're going to allow us to cross state lines and kind of what the health officials say on that. My guess is that Wyoming could be one of the first states that gets to be opened up. Just with how spread out our state is and the smaller amount of population that we have here, I think that gives us an opportunity to get somewhat back to normal a little bit quicker than some of those more densely populated areas. But we're hopeful that, teams in our region, Wyoming, Montana, Nebraska, Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota, those are less densely populated areas, and we're hopeful that at some point, that area of baseball could get opened back up. And if it does, we're going to take full advantage of playing the highest level of competition we could play in our area, just based off of what health officials are going to allow us to do and what makes sense for the safety for our players and our program.
We're talking with Ty Lain, Post 6 head coach. Ty, interesting scenario that we were talking about, and we really didn't say it. City Fields, again, your home field, Powers Field, it's owned by the city. There's just no way, shape, or form that you can get on any of these fields right now to even grab a pitcher or a catcher or just even try to run a quick drill with a couple of guys. I mean, there's just no facilities right now allowing anybody on.
Yeah, definitely. The city fields are shut down, and we have no access to that right now. But for good reason. And also, we work out at Wyco Baseball Academy, and that's a for-profit recreational facility. So that facility has been completely shut down for the time being as well. So there's really nowhere we can go indoors, outdoors. Everything we're doing right now is individualized. Each player is just working on their game on their own. Biggest thing for us is try to get our arms in shape. We haven't played catch. We haven't long tossed outside and done that stuff simply because of weather for such a long time. So we need to have guys playing catch with their dad, trying to get some long toss in and get their arms ready, do their band work. Little things like that can make a big difference for how quickly we'll be able to get going if we do get a green light to start playing some baseball. So we're just trying to take care of the little things right now and make the process move as quickly as it can. Once we are cleared, if we get cleared to play baseball, then we can start as quickly as possible.
No, wait a minute. Spring training is going to be different for the young guys as compared to the major leaguers. So again, major leaguers take about a month to get ready for spring training. You're going to have to put about a month's worth of spring training in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. We usually take about a month to prepare our team before the season starts. We start our spring training on what was supposed to be March 27th this year, and we really start preparing for that spring training on March 18th. And our opening day is supposed to be April 18th, so that'd be exactly 1 month of work in that we've missed out on. And so if we do get a green light, we don't want to be in a position where it takes us 2 weeks to get ready to play if we have 8 weeks left on the schedule. If we've got 8 weeks left on the schedule, we want to be able to play and take advantage of as many of those weeks as we can. So if we take care of our business right now and make sure we're doing the right things to get our arms in shape, get healthy, then I think we can get swings locked in and, take those first couple games as more of a scrimmage spring training style of game, but still have it count and be on the record and, throw guys 1 inning apiece and start getting our first looks at some live ABs and make adjustments as we go. And it's really going to be, playing it on the fly, coaching it on the fly, and making adjustments as we're going through our schedule, which really isn't that much of a new thing. We do get a month to prepare usually, but we're still making adjustments and doing things throughout the season to try to make our team better. So we're going to just be doing that as we play, hopefully, and, figuring it out as we go.
Speaking of your schedule, Oregon, if the possibility exists that it's just only baseball here in the state of Wyoming for post-6, where, again, no outside travel, all the bordering states have set up where, hey, you can't enter, you can't come play baseball. Post-6 would be regulated to playing at least Wyoming teams. Something that we asked Cody, and I just want to get your thoughts on it, Ty, where we know here in the Cap City we have a couple other teams, whether it is Triple Crown Wyoming, formerly the Cheyenne Mustangs, a few other at least, again, 18 and under teams throughout the state of Wyoming as well, too. There are other, at least non-Legion teams available to play baseball, but again, not a part of that American Legion family. We asked Cody would it be a possibility to add those teams in to add more competition to American Legion, at least this season. He said it was kind of abrupt no to us, but your thoughts on that, Ty, of, should Cody look into it? Should the American Legion here in the state of Wyoming look into bringing in those teams if we are locked down to just these borders here in the state of Wyoming, to involve those other teams of basically more the merrier, the better the competition, or more competition out there for the likes of Post-6 and other teams throughout the state of Wyoming?
Yeah, well, we obviously want to play as many people as we can. And, if the state of Wyoming is shut down, and it's playing all inside our state, then I think there's a lot of different options that we could look at. One is to, play some of those top level in A teams and have some of those A teams play in the AA teams. Cody has been an outstanding baseball program for a long time, and they've competed right in with the AA teams, and that could be another opponent that we could put on the schedule. And the team in Casper has merged. The Casper Crush has merged with the Casper Legion, so they're all under one umbrella now, and they'll have an A team and a AA team, and we'll be able to play all of those guys, which provides us some more teams to play against. And the Triple Crown team, I think that kind of depends on if some of those players are from Colorado or outside of the state of Wyoming. How is that going to affect them? You know, I don't know exactly what that looks like, but you know, if there's an all Wyoming team that wants to be a part of playing, I think we should look into being able to play as many people as we possibly can. But you know, in my opinion, the Legion teams in the state of Wyoming are the best caliber teams in our state. We want to try to play the best teams we can play. So it all comes down to what are the guidelines going to be. Are we going to be able to move in and out of our state to try to compete at a high level? And how many games can we get in? Where are we at on the calendar schedule? So there's just a lot of different factors that go into it to try to figure out, you know, what makes the most sense.
You know, being the skipper of the Sixers, and I know you're kind of chomping at the bit like these young men are ready to play baseball. And again, you get on the field, you don't go on the field to, you know, lose. You know, you go out there to win as often as you can. But I mean, to be real honest, Coach, just getting on the field probably is more of the victory than anything this year.
Definitely. At any point where we can get on the field, that's going to be huge. Like I said, for the development of our players in our program and the development of baseball in our community, to have a full calendar year of not playing baseball would be a huge setback to our program and all the work that our kids have put in and all the work our coaching staff and our boards and our programs have put in. There's been a lot of hard work to get baseball throughout the state of Wyoming to the point that it is right now. And, you know, any way that we can, even if we're on the field just practicing with our guys for a certain amount of time, that's going to make a big difference in the development of our guys. So, you know, we're taking it one step at a time. Step one is figure out how we can get guys active and playing baseball in some capacity. And, you know, we do understand that this is a very serious crisis that we are involved in right now. And we're definitely feeling for people that have sick relatives or friends or, you know, have lost a relative or friend during this time. And it's tough. It's very difficult. And so, you know, you think that baseball rightfully should take a back seat to some of that. And we want to do it right in a way that's healthy and safe for everybody involved. But we also, you know, we do have a wish in our heart that we can get out there and we can play a little bit of baseball and keep developing these kids and keep them on track to fulfill some of the dreams that they have at playing at the next level or getting drafted and being a professional player. And so, you know, we're excited and hopeful that at some point we're going to be able to get out there safely and be able to do that.
Final thought from me, Ty, and we want to thank you so much for joining us today here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. The Bash, again, that is the big kickoff prior to the guys getting on the field and doing the spring training thing. Again, baseball is a very costly proposition, you know, on all fronts. But also, too, you know, Post 6 has just been wonderful with your group through the years. And again, is there a possibility of some fundraising before the Post Sixers hit the field? Again, everything's all speculative right now, but would that be something kind of like we back it up a couple of months and then we're going to, you know, have the bash and then the kids are going to get on the field and then hopefully we'll play some baseball?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have to figure out some things. There are several different, you know, fundraising things that we do as a program, the Bash being one of them, that we were not able to participate in and make happen for this year so far. And so that's definitely put us back, you know, with our budget and things that we've been able to do in the past and what kind of budget we're rolling with right now. But, you know, we've got a lot of bright people that care a lot about the kids in this community that are going to work extremely hard to try to figure out ways to fundraise and make money. You know, the Bash is something that we do every year. There's a possibility that Bash could still happen at a later date. And so we're trying to figure out exactly how we're going to make that work. But we're gonna figure out all the logistics of this thing. And if we do get an opportunity to play baseball, we're going to do everything we can to take advantage of that and get the most out of it this season that we possibly can. So we're excited for the challenges of what 2020 is going to bring, but hopefully there's an opportunity for us to improve and become better people, better players, and grow as a community.
Well, Ty, on behalf of Nick and myself, we want to thank you for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Fingers crossed, and hopefully by the end of the month we'll have a good idea of where everybody's going to be at here in the state of Wyoming with our governor.
Awesome, guys. I appreciate you having me on. You guys do a fantastic job, so thanks for having me.
All right, Ty Lain joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We've got to take a time out. We will be back with more after this here on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
If you're looking for fun and style, then the new 2019 Kia Optima has what you need. And here at Kia of Cheyenne, we can help you own one. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Optima will reward your daily drive with comfort, performance, and advanced engineering. Kia Optima technology, your phone allows access to remote lock or unlock, climate control, 24-hour roadside assistance, and much more. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
College has been something that's always been on the back of my mind.
This is where I found what I wanted, one of my passions, what I really love to do.
In class, I feel more engaged.
The people here do care about you, and they want to help you succeed in life.
They make it so easy to be a parent and be able to still go to school.
I like the way I'm improving.
I love being, part of the LCCC family, and I'm glad I made this step in my life.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti. Interesting conversation there with Ty Lain. And the interesting part is, again, Nick, the family life is getting back together. Again, because, some folks are actually out of work right now or doing work from home. And obviously kids aren't going to school right now, so you have that opportunity. I know it's been cold as of late, but you have that opportunity, sneak in the backyard and play a little catch. It goes back to the old Field of Dreams. Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? That type of deal. So, so some arms are kind of staying limber. Other than that, though, I mean, you can't get on a field. And, in a backyard, you only can do so many different type of settings to, help. Obviously, if you got a wiffle ball bat, you could probably do some wiffle ball. Or if you got a big screen, you can hit into a screen and try to take some grounders. But, this is a very unique situation for these young men and even the young ladies, too, because we're talking
as I say,
fast pitch.
It's unique for everyone across this
I'm
entire planet
talking
right
about
now. What's going on?
Because, again, all facilities are shut down. So you have to make do with what you got.
Yeah, so and also too again out here we've just had snow. We're expecting more snow, so go figure that. Again, weather is affecting the start, or at least if they want to go out and warm up, so to speak. Again, it's still delaying, which is again nothing new for a lot of these athletes. Where look at last year of how delayed we got into the month of April due to all again whether it was snow, rain, just how many cancellations or at least delays at the beginning of April. So again, to get out there, train, work out a bit. Again, it's on that same par with the weather out here. It's just the way it is out here in the part of this part of the world of Wyoming.
You think the health clubs are shut down too? So some of those guys that would go lift weights or whatever. I mean, again, a lot of the stuff has got to be done at home right now. And again, you can't play catch by yourself, so you got to have somebody there to help play catch with you. And again, you can't have a practice, so it's a very unique again. like I said, I'm almost 63 years old. I've never seen anything like this before, and I can't even imagine what's going on and going through the minds of these young men and even ladies now as they get ready for fast pitch, because that's supposed to start up in May. And
well, again, everything is speculative, where nothing is guaranteed right now, due to the fact that we even saw on the high school side of things that high school athletics have been wiped out. Spring was canceled, again, where they were anticipating that it was just going to get delayed to a point in time, and then sometime in May, or at least early part of May, hey, they were going to get out there, whether it was on the soccer field or whether it was track and field, golf. But again, that has been outright canceled. Now for baseball, again, it's not a guarantee. As much as Cody Beers, commissioner, is hopeful of, hey, let's get out there. Ty's very hopeful as well, too, that Post 6 will be playing this season, with Adam Galiski and his Cheyenne Extreme with softball. Optimistic, but again, there's nothing guaranteed right now.
I'm like them too. I am optimistic because, and you and me, we've had this discussion, and again, politically, we probably will disagree on some things, but I feel this part of the world is going to open up first. And
that's what Ty just said too.
Yeah, it might even be our state that opens up first, just simply for the fact, A, we're small, B, we haven't had as many outbreaks, and C, is it coming to, I don't want to say coming towards an end, but is it on the downslide? Yeah, I think it is. I really believe it is. And if we can get some good days of weather, I think it may prompt our leadership to say, you know what, I think it's time. Let's rein it in a little bit. Let's open up some doors and get some businesses back going. Let's open up the parks again.
We'll see about leadership here, whether it's the state of Wyoming or at least on the local side.
Well,
Again,
we only can hope, Nick. And again, let's not politicize it. This is not about politics. This is about, hey, let's get it back going again. And again, like I said, I'm not going to use the word return to normal. Let's restart and let's get things going.
We're not returning to normal. Normality of whatever that was, of whatever your definition of it was, is not happening anytime soon. Again, this is going to be a big-time ripple effect. And again, even on the sports side of things where, athletes get affected, high school athletes, those seniors, again, where Ty's talking about, hey, I got a great group that needs to get worked out, needs to, get some reps in, prepare themselves as they head on to college for the next season. Or, again, if you got some seniors, and again, not for baseball, softball, for any of these spring sports, you got to wonder for those athletes that had their seasons cut short, don't have it, or, again, we'll see what happens. You kind of feel bad, though, for those seniors that, hey, if you didn't get signed yet, this was your opportunity possibly this season, this year, to, again, step it up, get some looks, get some opportunities to move on to whether it is JUCO, D1, D2, D3, whatever it may be. It's interesting, or it's going to be plain and simple. It is unique times. Is how we adapt to it, how we maneuver through all this, how things kind of get back into that normality.
And we said this too. It sucks to be a senior in high school because in college you can lose a year.
No. And
you can get it back. So again, in college, basically, you could be a freshman and you can get your athleticism done, your 4 years of athleticism done in 6, technically.
Yeah.
So, but once you're a senior in high school, that's it. You're done.
You're done. You're
not gonna go and fail your classes to be a senior again and do it all over. It doesn't
work
that way. So, again, I'm sitting here and thinking about the times that I've had, as a player, which I still am, as a coach, when I've coached both you as well as your sister. And I'm sitting here right now thinking, as a player, I just want to get back on the field and play. I don't care if I get one hit or I hit, 800 this year. I don't care if we win or lose. As a coach, I don't care if I won or lost either.
Well, again,
I just to get the kids out there to play.
Well, again, that even to take it outside of the sports realm, I think people in general are just at that point right now where it's like you want, instead of being stuck at home or, again, trying to survive and adapt right now, again, you want to go out and go, there's probably people that, like me, want to go back to the gym, want to go back to being out and about in the world, or at least, not have to hide inside or whatever the case may be. Again, it's not just the sports world in general. It's just people around this globe right now that, again, want to find that kind of optimism, or at least want to go find a little bit of that normality that we were in.
Well, and when we went last year to the Giants and Rockies doubleheader, I would give anything right now to either sit in the third deck or sit down in the third base side where we're at for game 2, just to watch a game right now, just the smell of the grass. A hot dog in our hand, and some peanuts. It's just, I know the world has
And that's
changed.
a scary thing of how bad the Rockies played last year.
It don't matter. I don't care who wins. I just to see baseball in general.
Yeah.
And again, you know it too. You've seen me at the house. I'm watching the Baseball Network. I watched last night Milwaukee and St. Louis from 1982, Game 7 of the World Series. That's how much I'm a junkie of baseball right now. And again,
Yeah, but how much of those reruns can you take at a point in
you
time
know what?
that you
I'm
just
going to have to watch them, and
Yeah.
I'm going to have to live with it. I've watched the Ken Burns baseball thing about 20 times now. It's to the point where, hey, I'm watching it, and 5 minutes later, I'm sleeping. But the bottom line is I'm in my house, I'm in our house, and I'm watching it. I'm doing what I've been told. Now, we are in the communications business, so we're essential. So we're here doing our job, keeping people updated,
Yeah.
especially over in our sister station, because I sign on 6 o'clock in the morning every day right now. But I'm reminding people of what's going on, how things are developing. And again, when I get done with work, I go straight home.
Yeah.
So I've done everything that's been asked of me from the top leadership of the country to our leadership here in the state of Wyoming, to our leadership here in the city of Cheyenne. And it's been cold, so you can't go outside. I bought a brand new bike, and I want to thank my friend George over at Rock on Wheels. Heck, I'm not riding my bike now. It's too cold.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
If anything, again, I joke about this, but again, it would have been ideal if this happened in the winter out here where, hey, you had a reason to stay inside no matter what. But, it is what it is right now, where hopefully things are going to get figured out here. Again, we are, at least the official date, or at least the reassessed date, was at the end of this month here in April, which again is coming up here in about 16 days. So hopefully by then things are better, or at least things get a little bit more relaxed. I don't think at the end of April that basically it's going to go, hey, go back to normal, go do this. So I think it's going to be a steady climb back in, kind of like what you're seeing with NBA, or at least what the NBA is kind of proposing. Same with MLB, where they're looking at contingency plans to slowly get back into those seasons, if not start into the postseason. Baseball, which they tossed out those ideas of, hey, we're just going to do spring training, but it's regular season in Florida and Arizona, where teams were going to get split up into Grapefruit League, Cactus League, and that's how you're going to play your regular season in those kind of remote areas. So, again, I think that's what it's going to be is hopefully by May 1st, you see a slow transition for softball and baseball here on the local side, where, again, things looking a little optimistic here, or at least a positive route that it could be a possibility that we are one of those first states that slowly gets back towards normality. Go back.
Today is April 14th. I would say within the next couple of weeks. And again, are we keeping an eye on the national maps? Absolutely. Are we hearing the positive news from these press conferences? We're hearing, yes, there's still outbreaks, there's still hot spots, there's still death, but we're also hearing, hey, it's not as bad as it once was. Again, they called for the peak week last week, going into this week a little bit. But again, let's look at the major hot spot here in the country, New York. Again, New York has accounted for half of the deaths of the 50 U.S. states, including the District of Columbia. So again, there's obviously a problem in that part of the world. But everybody else has seemed to work things out. Yes, the bigger major metro areas, Chicago has some problems. But look at California. California, the biggest state, and they seem to, they've got problems in L.A. and they got problems in San Francisco, but as spread out as California is, it's not as bad. So,
it's not as bad, but again, it's terms like that where, again, it's still, you want it at none. at this point in time. Where again, I
You
think
know, but that's
that's
unrealistic.
that's the ultimate goal right now. Though it seems like that we're trying to get to it where it is no cases, no deaths. That's the
also,
ideal
too, Nick,
situation.
also, Nick, the other ailments of the world, whether it's heart attacks, suicide. I mean, we can go right down. There's a bevy of bad things on that list that are daily activities. Think about New York, and I was mentioning this to you, where they may have 700 deaths due to COVID-19 today, but on an average day, about 500-600 people die in New York, in the state of New York, because of that's how big it is. So it's, I mean, like I said, I feel bad. We're not going to be to zero on this COVID-19. There's going to be a case here, there, and crop it up everywhere in our country. But the point is, are we strong enough to fight it off? Are the meds available now to kind of do that proactive
and I think
instead of be reactive?
Well, and again, hopefully that's a situation where I don't think how it's going right now that you get complete zero across the globe. Again, for zero infection, zero death of just how contagious this thing is at this point in time. But again, you're hoping to slow it down, find that vaccine, find that cure right now to figure out of how we save those lives for people that are going to eventually get it, if at all, at this point in time. But, it brings up a good question of if we don't find those avenues where people are projecting that, hey, this is going to crop back up in the fall time, it could crop up back again in 2021. And again, I think there was a study by Harvard saying, hey, we should just social distance for up until 2022. So again, we're talking 2 years of doing this 6 feet, less than 10 in a crowd situation that is, again, recommended by a university. It's not a guaranteed thing, but could that be a realistic thing? Could that be a possibility? And again, to tie it back into sports, though, if it does creep back in, if we do find ourselves slowing down the curve, or at least that curve, and states start opening back up, but then it spikes back in the fall time, then what happens? Does NFL have to now shut down completely? Again, right now there's no guarantees.
Well,
and you can only, at least right now in the sports world, you can only hope that eventually we get to that guarantee of either you're done or either you're open.
And again, we're the I don't want to say the experts, but the scientists and those, like you mentioned, from Harvard, they're not crying wolf. They're taking it to the extreme. That's what they're saying. And again, you weren't around 40 years ago when we were going through, the swine flu. Imagine if we would have had all of these protections back in place. How many lives we would have saved back then?
The swine flu was about 12 years ago?
No, we had our first case of swine flu way back.
Yeah.
Or AIDS in the mid-'80s. So again, if we'd have done all this social distancing back then, look how many lives we could have saved. Again,
is also to social media at least kind of fueling the fire, some of this panic, some of this a little craziness. Absolutely, I think so. Where again,
but I don't think it's a bad thing.
You could see compared in the 80s or again back, hell, even in the early 2000s. Hey, you didn't have the ease of access. Granted, the internet did exist, but again, you don't have the likes of Twitter or Facebook to constantly see, hey, here's that number update here in the state of Wyoming. Here's that number update in the city of New York. You can see where this thing's coming from. Again, is that kind of fueling some of this? Absolutely. But again, to get this back into sports, so
we need sports. We need sports.
But can it deliver though this year? Where again,
yes, it can.
There is so much uncertainty.
It delivered after 9/11.
And 9/11's a different thing.
No, I understand it's a different breed of cat. But again, sports, if baseball were to come back, this country would embrace it wholeheartedly because I think we need that. We need to get out of our homes. Understand that, Nick. Again, look at you, okay, and myself. We don't want to be cooped up. We want to be outside. And that's what people want. They want a reason to go outside, even if it's a baseball game, okay, or walking through the park, whatever, golf. People need the athletics, whether they play it or not. They will be great spectators just to get out of the house and break up today's daily grind, because it is now for a month now, Nick, since this has been in place. People are going stir crazy. And they need something else to help them along right now. And again, believe it or not, after 9/11, once baseball returned, it brought back to us. And again, you were young at the time, but we needed it. We were angry. We were hurt. We were in mourning. And just to see, the heroes come back onto the field of play, knowing that we still respected what had happened, people needed it. It was a healing time. Yeah, that's what we need. We need a time of healing.
Yeah, without a doubt. But again, could baseball be that outlet? Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. But again, it brings in other factors right now where, again, 9/11's a different breed where, hey, you weren't worried about sitting next to someone or at least sitting in those kind of packed rows at Yankee Stadium down at Coors Field to watch a baseball game, however it may be. What is it going to be like? Where again, I don't think I'm wrong with that because, again, right now you have people.
At that time, we were worried about who's going to fly overhead. And could it happen elsewhere?
You completely do not understand. But
I understand
again,
what you're saying. But we had that little fear in the back of our mind. Hey, it happened in New York. Could it happen in Phoenix? Could it happen in San Francisco?
You clearly do not understand again, this is a thing that's across the entire nation right now, that every state, all 50 states are being affected all the way to Hawaii and Alaska right now with this situation where, again, you have been trained now for a couple months now already under our belts to be 6 feet apart. The CDC, or at least those higher up, those medical officials have said, hey, wear masks when you're out and about. We had the issue with hand sanitizer, with hand soap that, again, leapt off the shelves and, again, are unavailable online, however it may be. In theory, yes, it'd be nice to have baseball. But, again, is baseball going to allow those crowds back into those stadiums at a point in time where you're talking, hey, we need to go out and go attend these games? Is baseball going to allow that? Can we do that? Are folks even going to want to do that due to the fact that, hey, do you want to sit in a Coors Field or in a Yankee Stadium, in wherever in this entire country, to watch a baseball game packed in with 40,000 people? I don't see it. Or again, there's going to be this amount of people in this country that are not going to be all for it. Some are going to be, or again, some of those that just don't care or are going to go out who, again, already thought that this was kind of a big joke already. Again, you're going to have those folks. But right now, again, can baseball give that opportunity? How about that? Baseball, NBA, NHL, can they give that opportunity for fans right now if they do restart to go attend, whether it is indoors, outdoors, at these venues, at these stadiums, down at the Pepsi Center, down at Coors Field, down in Denver? Who knows right now? I don't see it. I don't see that sports right now, or at least in the next couple months, can be that outlet for folks to get on out, go attend, get their mind off of something. I think once baseball restarts, which I think it will, I think they'll find a way to get that underway. But I think you're going to still have to watch baseball as much as it'll be new. I still think you're going to have to watch baseball, though, from the comfort of your own home, unfortunately. I think that's the reality that folks have to realize, especially with the sports right now, that once these pro leagues get back, and I think even on the local side here with Post 6 and even Cheyenne Extreme, I think those teams will play eventually, and I'll even include Triple Crown Wyoming as well, too. I think they'll play baseball, they'll play softball, but I don't think that families, friends, those who want to get out and watch a baseball game, even on the local side, are going to be able to. I just don't foresee that right now with how things are with the social distancing and the recommendations.
We might as well just scrap it, Nick, because basically what we're saying, live in fear. I'm not, again, see me wearing a mask?
I'm not saying that either, but I'm just saying I think that's what.
Well, and then, that's
I just think
social media
that's the reality you have to face right now.
That's social media. Because, again, social media basically says the sky is falling, the sky is falling.
That's always social media. So, again, that's why I said go back to about a couple minutes ago where I said, is that fueling the fire right now? What's happening in it right now? Absolutely. I think so.
I think a very good possibility. If people...
I mean, again, you're seeing now conspiracy theories about 5G and COVID.
Well, I'm not... Yeah. Again, let's look at, for argument's sake, 80-degree temperatures. It's going to be 10 degrees warmer down in Denver, okay? Are we going to be afraid of coronavirus in the summer?
I think a good amount of people are still going to be. This is something that, again, is going to ripple effect throughout people, through sports, through just daily average lives right now, where again people are going to be hesitant. I think when you go out on an average day wherever around this nation, here in town, there's probably going to be folks out there that are going to be afraid to shake your hand once it says, like, once we get that official all clear.
I think those days have come and gone. I don't think we'll see the shaking of hands anymore. I think you'll see the fist bumps or elbow bumps. That's about it. I think the days again. Because
all right, so if we're not handshaking, then why would you sit right directly next to a person in a crowded stadium right now, or at least down the line? Those folks who are not going to be doing that, or if that's going to be the universal change on a personal level, how long is it going to take for those folks to get accustomed that are now afraid to be in public crowds?
It's up to each individual.
Yeah. Well,
if you and me went to a baseball game, would you be afraid to sit next to me?
No.
Okay, that's you and me.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever is wearing the face mask at home and is sanitizing every hour, and good for them.
Yeah.
If they believe what they're doing. If they don't want to go to the game, they don't have to go. That's what's good about our country. But if they're a season ticket holder and you're paranoid about that or worried about it, then you need to either get a hold of that organization and get your money back and say, I'm not going, and let somebody else take their chances.
Yeah, which again, basically it's a possibility. But I think
it's taking a chance.
I think it's a reality that we have to face here in the year 2020. And again, this extends all the way to December 2020 for, again, encompassing hockey, football, basketball, whatever it may be, baseball included as well too on the pro side of things. I don't think fans can really look forward to attending these events this year. I don't think in this calendar year of 2020, I don't think that you're going to be able to see a Broncos game down in Mile High Stadium. I don't think you're going to be able to see a Rockies game in Coors Field. I don't think that's going to be a possibility.
I disagree. I think
I think games will happen, but I don't think fans will be in attendance.
I think a lot of this again by the task force right now is where I don't want to use the word crying wolf because again they're being optimistically cautious.
Yeah, again, you're being proactive than reactive.
But what they're going to do eventually is say, hey, we're here. It is eventually going to come down, Nick. It's going to be a flat line pretty quick. And they're going to say, okay, we can restart. And again, the restart for me, Nick, is we can go to Coors Field, you and me, but if you don't feel comfortable about going, don't go.
Yeah.
So, again, those that don't want to go don't have to go. We're not forcing them, okay? It's a free country.
Yeah.
But the thing is we have to restart businesses. We have to restart outside activities. You can't live in fear. That's just it. We have to trust those folks back there, the brainiacs, that they're going to get this taken care of. And every day they're working on it. And maybe that miracle drug comes, don't know. But the point is, if you and me live in fear, then the bug is won.
Yeah.
And I don't believe this bug is going to win. And again, as the president called it, this silent enemy, we're going to beat it. And again, those that don't want to participate don't. But you and me, we want to participate. We're ready.
But that's also too an unfortunate thing where, hey, you want those folks involved, but again, they're kind of scarred of what has been happening.
You can't force them.
Yeah.
It's their choice.
Yeah.
And again, I bet you right now to a T that if we took a poll, we would be well in the 90 percentile that people are ready to stretch their legs and let's get back to some semblance.
Well, yeah,
and let's restart.
Who wouldn't at this point in time? Again,
but there are some out there that are nervous Nellies, and let them be that way.
I think the more important poll would be of if states or the country said, "Hey, it was all clear," but again, those numbers still trickled in, or at least if it was on the downswing of that curve, so to speak. But yet again, there were still cases, still deaths around this nation. But yet it was still all clear to go out and go attend baseball, go out and attend, do whatever, go out to the park, go back to your business, go do this and that, restart the nation as is. I think there's still going to be a good percentage that say, I'm not taking that risk. I'm still going to stay home, even if we are, flattening that curve or taking that curve on a downswing at a point in time. Again, I think this is going to be a scenario that, it'll be interesting to see. Basically, the long run of all this is it will be interesting to see what the leagues do for NBA, for NHL, for MLB, of how do you put sports back on, but also, too, how do you get folks who are stir crazy right now back to attend your event?
Look at this too, Nick. Colorado obviously worse than Wyoming, but let's just go on your premise there that, hey, again, the stadium's opening up, baseball going to happen at Coors Field. Do I expect 50,000 fans to be there right away?
No.
Do I expect 10 to 12,000 a night? Yeah, it'll be almost like going to Oakland A's games back in the 70s. There's going to be a lot of good seats available.
I was going to say, it's Oakland A's games now.
But I'm just saying, that's what it's going to be. I have a feeling that there's going to be, again, the gamers like you and me are going to go. Those that might have some type of underlying problem, they don't want to take that chance, they may not go. But again,
they rightfully should.
Who knows? Maybe at Coors Field they do social distancing. You sit in seat 1, I sit in seat 3. Who knows?
Yeah, wonder if that would be a possibility as well.
Every other seat, yeah. I mean, again, we don't know what's going to happen. All we know is that you and me, and hopefully, like I said, that wide range of folks that watch our program, listen to our program, are going, hey, we're like you guys. We want to get up, stretch our legs. Let's restart. Let's get going. All right, we do need to take a time out. We're going to come back with our next guest. She is the East High. Oh, we're not coming back?
We got top of the hour. We're going to do ad reads, and then we'll get
I said when we come back, we're going to, roughly when we come back in the next few minutes, we're going to come back with the East High head soccer coach, Rebecca Valdez, and we will have her join us here in a few minutes on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk. Today it is hour number 2, and it's being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria. You can get a hold of Joe and the crew over at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, 778-6068. I'm seeing a lot of pizza ads on TV. Hey, if you want true Paisan pizza, freshly made, the dough, again, it's not trucked in. This is freshly made every day. You know, you've been there. The breads are freshly baked. Hey, you want a true pie, then get it from Mondello's. 778-6068 in the Greenway Commons, 1507 Stillwater Avenue.
Especially
Suite
for
D.
someone who is from the old country as well, too.
Yes.
I think he knows what he's doing.
Beginning his 5th decade. Obviously, folks here in this part of the world like what Joe's been doing over the years. Across the street is First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, as they are open Monday through Friday, and you can get a hold of Tim and Tad and the crew, to do your business indoors. Just give them a call at 632-3500. They'll be more than happy to work with you. Lennox Auto Body, again, reduced hours on the Dunn Avenue site. Again, still doing the auto glass and detailing over on Pershing Boulevard. You can get a hold of Heather and the crew at 634-6608, doing the Dunn Avenue site from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Again, you can go indoors with your doctor's prescription and see Gene and the great staff there, or use the convenient drive-thru. They're open Monday through Friday next door to Texas Roadhouse on Bluegrass Circle. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. And again, they sell the top-of-the-line appliances for your home. So again, get a hold of, or just, go inside, and you can see Bruce and the crew there, or again, get a hold of them, 638-6468. Matter of fact, when you call that number, I think prompt 1 will say for sales, and then for prompt 2, it's service. And again, I need some service. They're going to come on out to my place tomorrow. And again, just check out what B&B Appliance and TV can do for you. 714 Central Avenue in Cheyenne. Medicap Pharmacy, as I mentioned, also again, they're next door to Texas Roadhouse. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange. They're right across from Powers Field and Menards. Again, serving up 3 delicious squares Monday through Saturday. Some changes, again, no more ice cream cones being sold. Milkshakes are going to be in the flat lids. They're not doing the whipped cream and the cherry on top. They got 2 convenient drive-thrus. You can use the app for the curbside service, so they're all ready to go. You're all ready to go. Again, Chick-fil-A has many goodies for you. And again, they're at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. Platte Valley Bank × 2. Original location on Vanda High, the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing, again with convenient drive-thrus. And if you need banking done more than just through the drive-thru, get a hold of Platte Valley Bank. They'll take good care of you. 778-0021. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where you can do your buying online, or you can go to the facility on Nation Way. AJ invites you to come on by, as does the sales team. They're sanitizing every hour. There's hand sanitizer there, too, if you want to do your business face-to-face, like I always like to do. And, again, Key of Cheyenne wants you to come onto the lot, take a test drive, or you can do it virtually, I guess, online. They'll even give you your trade value online as well. They'll give you Kelly Blue Book. Sight unseen. Never been done before by Key of Cheyenne. So, again, check out what AJ and the crew have for you over on Nation Way. And, again, you can get a hold of them at 775-0123. And we also want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne. Taco Tuesday going on right now. Great promotion. And over at Taco John's, you will find all the drive-thrus open. Delrange and Ridge, Pershing and Ridge, south side on the Greeley Highway. You will also find them downtown on KRAE Avenue and on the north side on Yellowstone Road. Taco John's of Cheyenne. And our scoreboard, when those lights light up once again on the board, it will be brought to you, as it is each and every year, brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Let's go to our scoreboard right now. Nick, what do you got?
I got nothing. I'm not going to talk about horse out of the NBA or anything like that. Not going to give you a race update out of the NASCAR iRacing series or anything like that. But, hopefully we'll get back here soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, to some sort of scoreboard, whether it is a local, regional, or national kind of scoreboard for any sport. Again, hopefully we'll get to that here very soon.
All right, we're going to take a time out. Our next guest, Rebecca Valdez, joins us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
If you're looking for fun and adventure, Kia of Cheyenne is the place to start, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will help you find it. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will give you what you need to make things happen. This vehicle has plenty of power, all-season traction, safety features, technology, and comfort for any road you're on. The Kia Sorento offers plenty of standard features for the money, and we're all about saving you money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
College. It's filled with classrooms, instructors, and exams. But beyond that, it's filled with curiosity, budding friendships, insightful conversations, and so many opportunities. There will be people like you, and you, and you. You'll work, you'll play, you'll struggle, and you'll succeed. But when you allow yourself to pursue your dreams, you'll learn what you're truly made of.
And welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. We are joined by our next guest, she being the head soccer coach at East High. But before we talk about East High soccer, we are going to talk about LCCC soccer, as she was the assistant coach with under head coach Jim Gardner, and she being Rebecca Valdez joined us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Rebecca, how are you doing during this very unique time in our lives?
Not as busy as I normally am.
That is for sure. You know, Rebecca, I was thinking about this question to ask you before we got on the air. What was the emotions like for you, especially after that last game with LCCC, knowing Jim Gardner was done and you and Jim had been together? I mean, again, you guys had been a great working machine together as far as coaching from both the JUCO side to the high school side. But what was the emotions like after that last contest for the Lady Golden Eagles?
You know, it was bittersweet. Jim's known me more than half my life now, and not just as a coach, as a player, and, you know, a mentor. So it was one of those things where everything comes to an end, and I think it hit us more emotionally than anything, just knowing it was an end of just that time together. You know, we coached for about 17 years together, and it was sad.
Yeah, again, it was something that seeing what kind of unfolded with Jim and just how kind of the send out. Granted, it was, again, for Coach Gardner, still didn't get that national championship that we wanted over there at LCCC, but still made it to that national at least that, you know, that tournament out there, got close enough, and still, again, kind of kept that winning tradition over there at LCCC. But, you know, moving away from LCCC, we want to talk about what's happening now, or at least the future for Cheyenne East, as Rebecca, you are the girls soccer head coach over there for the Lady Thunderbirds, where some positive news, as we're trying to find some positive news out in this kind of day and age right now. But you did have one player, at least current Lady T-Bird, that's signed to move on to the next level and will stay in the Region 9. Unfortunately, won't be over at LCCC, but will still be in the Region 9, though, however.
Yeah, you know, it was really exciting, and I actually emailed our AD and principals just to let them know we finally had some good news after a week of bad news. You know, Caitlin Castles signed with Sheridan, and it's going to be awesome to be able to see her at least play a couple more times. I mean, across the field from us, but it's exciting. And she's not the only one we've had signed. Erin Grease, she actually plays for us. She's a kid who plays from Burns for us. She's actually signed to LCCC. So we've got two kids that'll continue playing.
You know, Rebecca, let's take a look at this very unique time in our lives and for your young soccer players. And again, it's been pretty much sitting on pins and needles, because up until we got the all spring sports were canceled, how did you keep the young ladies motivated, and how did you keep them in shape to get ready just in case we got that restart to get back to work?
Yeah, it's one of those things we had kind of been talking about with our kids ahead of time because just watching what was going on with the country, we'd try to prepare and tell them that if something happens, we were going to keep in contact with them. The district has an awesome resource that's called Remind, where we're able to contact our kids. So what we were doing once we got the notification that we couldn't practice anymore is, we'd post workouts. We had a little bit of competitions. I'm still working on a video. We did a Keep the Ball Moving challenge. So just trying to find ways to keep it lighthearted, keep it fun, but keep them focused. So if we were able to take the pitch again, we were as in best shape as we could be and ready to get on the field and play.
Rebecca, regarding that cancelization of spring sports here at least across the entire state of Wyoming, which again affects both boys and girls soccer, track and field, golf, again, all those high school athletes from top to bottom throughout every community here in the state of Wyoming, again, unfortunately cannot compete this season. But want to get your thoughts on that with that cancel of spring sports. Was it the right move by the Activities Association in your opinion, or should they have looked into, again, maybe delaying it for about a month, see if we could play in May or in early June? What are your thoughts on that, at least canceling of spring sports?
I think we were really starting to run into a numbers game as far as time. And I think once Governor Gordon made the decision to push off reopening things, and Superintendent Balo made the decision to keep schools closed until the 30th. I think the writing was kind of on the wall. We ran out of time in order to make it a season that would have been competitive for people. It's hard. You feel terrible for the kids and all the work they put in. And I think more than anything, it was a numbers game. And it wasn't an easy decision by any means, but I think it became more of a calendar issue.
Rebecca, let's go ahead and now that the spring season has been put to bed, now let's take a look at what you are trying to get planned. Again, coaching is a year-round profession, and you know it better than anybody. So as you take a look, and it's a shame too that some seniors are not going to get that opportunity to perform again on the field for you. But as you look ahead, and fingers crossed to the 2021 campaign, you start making plans now. What are you looking at trying to get going here, possibly when the restart button happens during the summer?
Man, we were really excited for the team coming in. Last year we had a really nice freshman class that got some experience, and we were looking forward to them taking some leadership as sophomores. And we are pleasantly surprised by our freshman class and the work they'd given us that first week of practice. And, so we're in an exciting time period where, if we're able to do some kick-arounds this summer, just get the kids back together and form some cohesive and unity, and just play for fun to start with, and then start looking at the future as far as getting our program up and running again.
Speaking of those seniors, a part of this year's squad, though, for the Cheyenne East Lady Thunderbirds, that again had their season cut short from them, again out of their control with what is happening here in the world. But what are kind of some of the resources? And we've been talking about this for some of those seniors that relied on this season upcoming, whether it was track and field, boys or girls soccer, or golf, that hey, they haven't gotten that scholarship yet to move on that next level, but they were hoping that this senior year could have been that year to impress scouts. Could have been that ticket to get to LCCC or throughout those four-year institutions. What kind of resources are there, and again, for your Lady Thunderbirds, some of those seniors that didn't get that scholarship opportunity but were hoping to it this season? What are some options for them, or what are some resources available?
The best thing for kids to do is actually reach out to coaches themselves through email. I think a personal connection is always the best way to go about it. There's so many kids out there that, we don't know about unless they contact us. And, knowing from the college part of it, just kids reaching out. So, the best thing for them to do is find the schools they're interested in and reach out to the coaches, because the worst you can hear is no, but at least you get an answer. The best you can hear is yes. So, I think a lot of this is forcing people and kids just to be self-advocates. I see it in my classroom where kids are finally advocating for themselves too. And for athletes, this is a great opportunity to, maybe step out of your comfort zone and advocate for yourself.
Rebecca, next year, and again, fingers crossed, everything will return to normal. or as far as athletics is concerned, it will be women's fast pitch joining the roster for sports during the springtime. Do you foresee that affecting your program somewhat?
It might. And, it's always exciting to see another sport come on board. I grew up playing softball in Cheyenne, and it's nice to see that there's more opportunities for kids to get involved. And hopefully it actually opens up doors for kids who aren't involved to get involved with something with the school and have some more school pride with something that maybe has just been an option as a club. So, we might see some impact on our numbers, but hopefully we'll see more kids actually getting involved in playing sports for the school. So I look at it as it's a positive.
Looking into the future as well, too, and again, we'll tie back into LCCC with women's soccer for you, Rebecca, and again, under new head coach over there, Nate Olness, again, what he does for that program for the Lady Golden Eagles. But as we're seeing the ripple effect, where, again, you are at the foremost and front center right now of seeing your seasons canceled right now here in the springtime, and again, we have that uncertainty of what's going to be sports or at least athletics in the summertime and potentially fall. Well, that fall time is the start of 2020 Golden Eagle Lady Soccer over there at LCCC. Kind of give your thoughts and opinions on what could be the possibilities for LCCC on the soccer pitch. Of could there be less traveling? Could there be kind of just local regional games? I mean, what could be some of the effects of what we're seeing right now towards at least women's soccer for LCCC?
Well, I think it's a wait and see right now. And fortunately, the majority of our region is within driving distance. So I guess we're fortunate in that aspect that we have a pretty big region. I'm not sure. We have a couple trips planned. We're going to fly out and play in Texas, and then another trip flying out and playing in Missouri. So right now, I think, Nate's continuing with that as the plan. But if things change, we'll have to adjust. But we're fortunate that our region is fair, there's a lot of schools within this area to play. So there are some other regions that if things go the way and you're only playing regionally, they're going to be in some trouble because there's the other thing with JUCO is Division II is coming on board right now for women's soccer. So it could create some issues with traveling and planning.
Final thought for me, Rebecca, and I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Again, with both you and Jim wrapping up program over at LCCC, in cases when coaches leave a program, sometimes the cupboard is bare a little bit, or it gets a restart. With Nate taking over the program, Nate Olness, it seems like both you and Jim left that program in pretty good shape for the new hands taking it over.
Yeah, Nate's a good young coach, and we've seen his success at Gillette, and making the national tournament for the first time for that program, and he's been very successful as a high school coach in North Dakota. He played college ball in North Dakota, so it's interesting to see some new changes, and change isn't always bad. New flavor is good sometimes, so I think I'm excited to see what he can add on to the legacy of LCCC. So it'll be fun to see the new changes brought on.
Thanks for using that word legacy, because both you and Coach Gardner will leave a lasting legacy at that institution. We thank you so much for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today, and hopefully we get you back on the field again with your young ladies.
Yes, sir. I hope so. I miss it.
Rebecca Valdez joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We will take a timeout, or unless you have something you wanted to add.
Oh, I thought we were just wrapping up all together.
Oh, no.
You've been wanting to get out of here.
You want to do a couple of things here.
We'll take a time.
We'll take one last time out, and we'll be right back after this. We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Kind of wrap it up on football, but we're not going to talk about the upcoming draft. We're going to talk about some things that are going on.
We'll save the NFL draft for Thursday. As
Yeah,
we'll have a guest to talk about it.
A couple of things out of Carolina. First and foremost, Cam Newton has been given the heave-ho out of Carolina.
That's old news, yes.
But also from Carolina to yesterday, McCaffrey. How about that contract he signed? He is now the highest-paid running back in the National Football League. Yes, he's getting paid more
running backs
than Zeke in Dallas.
Again, running backs that kind of have shelf lives that expire pretty early in the NFL of these days, where, again, it's bigger, stronger, faster, where we're seeing a lot of those. Again, you don't have a Frank Gore that is still playing, well past 15 seasons. You just don't see that anymore. That has that kind of.
Well, in Carolina, they're expecting him 6 more years and $75 million.
And again, we'll see throughout this contract does it hurt him in the butt, or again, is it going to be a situation that for Carolina, hey, it worked out perfectly for you? Is this the guy that could be a good accompanying offensive piece down there for whatever the Panthers are trying to do?
He's been as advertised, though. He has been that all-around back for them, running, receiving. Again, everything they've asked of Christian McCaffrey, he has delivered. The team hasn't. And again, they've had their problems at the quarterback position, and it'll be interesting to see now post Cam Newton how this team will rally. And again, you got a new head coach, as Ron Rivera's gone too.
Again, out of the former Baylor Bear head coach, now being the product over there. So again, for Carolina, you're in an interesting position out there where, again, now you play in an NFC South that you now have New Orleans, that's pretty talented. Atlanta, again, they've been through a down period, but we know Atlanta, once they figure out things, the Falcons have talent there. They were just removed a couple seasons from the Super Bowl.
It's a very talented South Division.
Yeah, again, now Tampa Bay
with Tom Brady.
Tom Brady and what they've been doing to add in there. So, yeah, without a doubt, again, Carolina's an interesting position where you play in now a very competitive division in the entirety of the NFC. So, Carolina, I think they're going to be probably at the bottom for quite some time. They're going to, obviously, this is rebuild mode right now. We'll see how long it takes for them to get out of it, but they got pieces in play. But to get it fully gelled between offense and defense, I think you're a few seasons away for Carolina doing anything special.
No, you're not a few seasons away. You're a few players away from putting this all together. And again, you never know. Again, where you're sitting at in the draft, what you could possibly barter, what you could, what kind of moves. Again,
and we'll see.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the NFL draft.
The NFL draft, that'll be virtually, at least online, again, completely digital, which is kind of going back to the old school way, so to speak, where, again, no fan interaction. It's just pretty much behind closed doors. So it's just pretty much old school NFL draft is what's happening upcoming. But interesting to see how it was. It was supposed to be out in Las Vegas with the debut of Las Vegas Raiders, where right now the Raiders are in a little difficulty because Legion Stadium right now is still being built. It's still on pace to be open.
Nice from the outside.
Yeah,
though.
without a doubt. But it's still ways away from at least being open in time for.
Was it El Paso, if I'm not mistaken?
El Paso, and I think somewhere in L.A. as well too. That they were looking at possibilities to start out this season due to the fact that I do believe some of the construction workers there building Allegiant Stadium did run into with COVID-19, so they had to delay operations. So we'll see what happens with the Raiders. Granted, we don't even know if NFL is even going to be played this season. You would only assume so.
Again, we're going to go back to we hope a restart happens.
You can hope, but again, nothing's a guarantee right now, so we will see. But
I will tell you one thing: it's not restarting. It's done. It's over. And you and myself have argued about this.
And you're online with the rest of the people that said woohoo, took a victory lap and basically, was in celebration of what happened of the XFL.
No, I'm not. I am not thrilled that the XFL failed. Understand that, Nick. I applaud them trying. But again, even if the XFL would have made it through this season,
they would have been back.
And even if they would have been back next season, it would not last. again,
I think they did a good enough impression this season that rippled throughout football fans, where again of the unique style, where again it was a league where you look at the NFL of how structured, how rigid, how just boring it is, and how again it's kind of dictated by that governing body of the NFL. You saw in the XFL, it was a fun league. It was how they try to advertise the extremely fun league.
No one is going to argue any of your points. The point is,
I just think it made a ripple enough in the first season that, yes, I think you would have saw in 2021 more fans would have attended.
Again, you go back to World Football League, United States Football League. You go back to those prominent leagues where they needed butts in stands. Again, the Denver Gold was one of the more premier teams, and they were drawing about 37,000 fans in 75,000 seat back then Old Mile High Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
They were one of the more successful franchises, but were not in the black. Again, this year, 20,000 average fans in 60,000 seat stadiums.
Again,
that's 1/3 of the stadiums full.
In the XFL address that this season, where they weren't anticipating to make money in this, they were anticipating to lose, which they did, but they lost very heavily due to a circumstance that was completely out of their hands. Where again, the XFL basically said, "Hey, we're laying you all off." But thankfully, or at least the nice thing that of that league did was, hey, we'll still pay your salaries, but again, unfortunately, we got to lay you off. And then a few days later, they filed bankruptcy, and now the XFL is pretty much dead in the water.
Well, and Vince McMahon, the billionaire that he is, again, he's taken a big hit on the wrestling side because he's got a card of athletes, performers that he's got to keep on the payroll as well.
Well, and again,
nobody's showing up to these events.
Well, yeah. Again, you can't have a live event where you're expecting fans to pay money to get into those.
I mean, look what
arenas.
they're losing on. In addition to just paying people, nobody's showing up. They're not getting gate. They're not getting parking. They're not getting concessions because Vince McMahon is a very astute businessman. Let's give him his due. He doesn't get into ventures to lose money. And even with the XFL, I don't know if they were losing money this year. But again, they were only filling up thirds of stadiums.
And again, it's a new league where you got to start somewhere, and they did. And you saw fans pack in, or at least they showed up to Seattle, those Dragon games. Right. They showed up to St. Louis, where St. Louis is a market that was desperate for football once the Rams left that area. You saw markets that were diehard fan bases, or at least enjoyed football as much as they could get it. They still showed up. Crowds weren't awful. Crowds were not awful.
I know, but the fourth attempt at
for
football.
semi-pro non-NFL football, again, crowds, the football, the product, the entire league was not bad.
Well, let's go the fifth attempt at spring football because you had the NFL Euro League.
But again, what happened to the XFL this year was not their fault.
I'm not blaming the XFL. I'm just, again, I
still believe
I'm
that
steadfast. I'm steadfast.
Post, if you go into another timeline, no corona, no nothing like what is happening right now, if it was the XFL played out this season, it went all fine and dandy for them, I still think that the XFL would have been back 2021, and it would have been bigger and better, where I think you would have saw more fans show up.
I go back to the old United States Football League. They came back. They could not compete. They were losing money at the gate. And then again, they were blamed. Matter of fact, our president took the NFL to court and won the case on antitrust. But the point is, until you come up with and I'll use XFL because I think Vince McMahon, you're right, was on the right track. Until you can go head-to-head with the NFL, like the old AFL did against the NFL back in the day, until you could go head-to-head with that country club during the fall.
The NFL is way too large.
You can't do it during the spring.
Yeah, that's unimaginable. That's impossible with how big that league is.
Again, let's go back to the spring, Nick. If we had a normal spring, XFL would have completed their season. Good for them.
They were anticipating to return.
But look what you're competing against. You're getting all of the winter sports, which would be basketball, hockey. You're getting into playoff. You're getting a playoff. Just hear me out. Playoff mode. You're getting golf back into swing. You're getting baseball back into. Right now, it's opening day for baseball. You're getting that back in, and again, you got and NASCAR is starting to roll again. You got fans being torn. In
NASCAR's
all these,
online.
I know, but you got sports fans being torn in all these different ways, and football is the last thing that they're thinking about. There are some diehards out there. I will give you that. There are diehards out there, but not filling stadiums.
March would have been the interesting month of competing with March Madness, but I still think the XFL would have done fairly well, where, again, it had the notoriety. It was garnering attention throughout the nation, and, again, they were marketing it well enough where, hey, it's here on Fox, it's here on ESPN. Again, it wasn't one lone spot where you had to fish for it. No, it was spread out evenly amongst different networks that folks could tune in, could enjoy, and see what they were offering. And again, I think that XFL was garnering, it looked like it was gaining momentum. It showed positivity throughout at least social media online of where folks were enjoying this. It was a league it was fun. It was for the fans. It was a league that was open and honest. Hey, they messed up a call. They've said, hey, we realize that. We apologize. That guy's now been, I don't think he got fired, but I think he got suspended.
He got reprimanded.
Yeah, so again, it was a league that was doing everything that the NFL should be doing. And it was doing it right.
They would have been back next season.
Now you wonder with the NFL where, hey, I wouldn't say the XFL was competition, so to speak, but now with the XFL now out of business, curious to see if the NFL adopts some of those rules or adopts some of those methods of, do we go inside the booth once again to talk with those replay officials like the XFL did? I thought that was fantastic. The kickoff style, or at least the kickoff rule, I think that's something the NFL absolutely should adopt.
And here's the way it goes, Nick. Each league, AFL brought something to the table when they merged with the NFL. Okay.
Well, the NFL already uses stuff right now that the old XFL was doing.
That's right. But they also adopted stuff from the World Football League. They adopted stuff from the United States Football League. They even looked at the first going back to the XFL 1.0. Yeah, everybody laughed at all the craziness, but there were some points in there that were entertaining that the NFL looked at.
Yeah.
Again, they brought back the fun. Hey, you can celebrate a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was the dumbest thing to get rid of.
Then you go and you look at XFL 2.0, and I am not saying it was a bad product. I'm just telling you as an old fart that it will never succeed. Spring football, I don't care who brings it out, will never succeed.
This league had a feeling that it could have. I honestly believe if things did not happen as they did, if the XFL returned back in 2021, I think it's a league that would have been back in 2022, 2023. I think it's a league that could have. It in the first year, it felt like it made a good enough positive presence out in the sports world of saying, yes, we are a semi-pro league that's about fun, that's unique, that's different, and we're doing it differently than the NFL. Basically, again, the XFL's goal was to address all the negativity that's addressed with the NFL right now, and they said, hey, what's bad over there, we're going to make it better here.
But nobody's arguing, and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Again, you're arguing that it would have been dead in the water at some point in time, not necessarily this year. I'm saying my argument, I think this was a league that could have done something.
It just won't be supported, and that's the sad part. Again, you could survey 100 people, Nick, and again,
it's a league that, again, what would have been best for the XFL, where again you had to get those major markets. Absolutely, you have New York and Seattle, where again they already have the established teams, but it seemed like it was a market that was more suited to St. Louis, to some of those, again, maybe
medium-sized markets.
Yeah, again, where you go to. Maybe you find a team in Memphis or something like that. Granted, you have the Tennessee Titans, but you find, again, there's another major city there. You go to, just trying to think of off the top of my head.
Go to San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio, without a doubt. Austin, Texas. Some of those areas. You go, you find those mid-major or somewhat major markets that don't have that football league or don't have sports in general. Right. I think that was probably what was best suited. And again, could that have been already on the radar for the XFL? I think without a doubt. I would not doubt that the XFL probably had San Antonio on the radar to go play at the Alamo Dome.
And again, with Vince McMahon and his promotional attributes, he could promote it, and again, he could get those markets in play. But again, you go back in time, and I have to go back in time when you had really good ownership groups in play back in the day, and you had the cities in play, the fans just did not want to support it. They would come out initially, and then once you got into the meat and potatoes of playoffs and March Madness and baseball, and then the fans start dwindling away.
This is where you look at the stats and you look at the fan attendance for a lot of these teams, or at least the more successful teams in the XFL. They saw a boost in attendance, so they saw rises. Again, you look at what happened in St. Louis and in Seattle. Those, again, the Dragons, the Battlehawks, they found that attendance were growing throughout the season.
You also had places where there wasn't good
Well, again,
attendance.
that's going to happen when, again, hey, Dallas Renegades or some of those awful teams that were part of the 8 there in the XFL, yeah, again, that's going to happen.
I go back to the, when Steve Young played for
look here on the professional side down at Denver with the Rockies.
No, I know. I go back when Steve Young was playing with the LA Express. And again, look at the career that Steve Young had with the 49ers after he left after the USFL folded shop. He's playing in a major market in Los Angeles, the LA Express. They're playing in the LA Coliseum. They couldn't draw flies. I mean, we're talking 15,000, 10,000 fans in the 90,000 seat Coliseum.
That's the difference between the XFL where, again, with the LA Wildcats, you didn't go to the Coliseum. You didn't go to those massively large, at least stadiums. The only big one you were playing at were CenturyLink Field and also two out there with MetLife in New York. But for the LA Wildcats, they were playing where the LA Chargers were at. And people were mocking the Chargers, saying, hey, we got more fans here for a Wildcats game than we're attending for NFL football.
See, and again, where I'm at with you on this, and again with Vince McMahon, yeah, maybe Vince McMahon might have shown a profit or at least would have got to the Mendoza line, but when the dust all settled, it just the spring football.
In a different world, the XFL would have moved on. They would have been. There would have been a next year. They would have probably been a 2022 for this league.
Again, that now remains to be seen. But again, I just don't think spring football. You need to come up and go head to head with the NFL. If you can go head to head with the NFL, then you got a product, and that's the way it's going to be. Football is always a fall sport. It'll never be a spring sport.
Well, again, it was a league that also as you complain, or at least saying, hey, it's a spring league, it still gave an opportunity for those who didn't make it to the NFL. It gave it for players, for coaches, for personnel. It gave them opportunities, and it's kind of that bittersweet moment of realizing that the XFL is done. For those athletes that may not have at least get that opportunity to now get up to the NFL by getting looks at what they did in the XFL, you kind of feel bad for them.
Some of those guys are going to be offered free agent contracts.
But not all of them.
No,
some of those coaching staff, some of those personnel, a part of those teams are not going to be a part of those NFL franchises. So again, that's also too the other bittersweet thing with this bankruptcy, with the layoffs of the XFL is now you got a lot of people that are now again back to square one of, well, now what do you do? Since you don't have an additional league to kind of help out those.
And again, too, I would think
a league that supports mid-major schools like a Wyoming.
On the coaching side, you're going to see some of those guys catch on with NFL teams, and a lot of those guys that'll be invited as free agents. You'll hear some of those guys that were good performers in the XFL will catch on with NFL teams.
Well, we'll see, because supposedly the Canadian Football League also too is looking to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're getting hurt right now too.
All right, well, we do need to wrap things up here. We do want to thank our special guests that we had on line with us today. First off, Lain, Sixers head coach, talking a little baseball, and hopefully we can talk some more baseball throughout. Again, it's not summer yet. It's still early springtime.
And do want on the baseball theme, again, reached out to Ty. Appreciate him joining the Talk Cheyenne Post 6. Have reached out to Triple Crown Wyoming's organization. Again, they've had a bit of a fluctuation with coaching staff and personnel. Yeah. But again, hopefully we'll be able to talk Triple Crown Wyoming with what they're trying to do here in the city of Cheyenne, with the uncertainty of baseball right now of what their kind of contingency plan is for this possible upcoming season. So again, have reached out but have not heard back from them yet.
And also too, most recently talking to Rebecca Valdez, the head soccer coach at Cheyenne East. So, again, thank you to our special guests. We are going to wrap things up. Back at it again Thursday afternoon, 3 p.m. So do join us via the live stream. Again, it's on YouTube and Periscope via Twitter. For Nick Proetti, I'm Larry Proetti. Do we have on the state in history?
I can look one up.
No. Don't look it up. So if you don't have
it won't take me that long.
Are you going to get it?
I might as well. Because it is April 14th, just to look back on this date of what happened in the world. There's quite a few here. How about... No, that's not a good one. How about April 14th, 1921? The first ever of this happened.
1921?
It was the first champion in this league in 1921.
First champ. You got me on that one.
How about April 14th, 1921, the NHL championship? How about it was the Ottawa Senators defeating, or at least they swept the Toronto St. Patrick's in 2 games?
Yeah, I'd have known that one real easy. All right. That will let us go out of here and go home. So for Nick Proetti, I'm Larry Proetti signing off. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back with you again Thursday afternoon, 3 o'clock, right here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Good evening.